Hey, I'm Megan Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. We're coming to you live from TUS, the Moylish campus here in Limerick, and I'm joined by Dr. Melinda Heinz. You're very welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
We're going to talk about something that I think I absolutely adore, and I think it's such a good idea. It's men's sheds. But first of all, I have to ask, how and why TUS?
So I was interested in coming to TUS because they certainly have a very applied philosophy on education and research, and I thought would make a great partnership to learn more about certainly the sheds, but also get to know faculty, students while I'm here as well.
And where is it you've come from?
So I'm from the U.S. I'm from Iowa. I'm an associate professor of psychology at Upper Iowa University.
Now, I believe that you first came across men's sheds was in Drogheda or somewhere else in Ireland?
In Dundalk, yeah.
Dundalk.
So I brought students from my university in 2018 on a study abroad experience. And we toured the shed there. They had an art studio, they had a garden, woodworking shop, and I thought it was fascinating. Really great showcase of how to be engaged in late life. And so I wanted to learn more about that. And then I came across the Fulbright opportunity and then applied as a Fulbright scholar and then was selected to do the research here on the men's sheds.
Now, I know that Limerick is quite popular for men's sheds, and I've interviewed some of the men from the men's sheds around. So tell us who exactly and what are you looking for?
Sure. So I'm interested in anybody who is 65 years of age and older and who is retired from their primary career. Because I'm interested in how the shed helps with that adjustment to retirement and also helps give them a sense of meaning and purpose in that later life. For many of us, our identity is kind of wrapped up in our career in many cases. And so when you no longer have that, for some men, it can be difficult to adjust to that. And so I think sheds are a great place to kind of maintain that sense of identity and purpose and well-being.
And because I think as well, a lot of time, people say that men maybe find it harder to talk and maybe men find it harder to step out. And as you said there, whether you're retired or whether you don't have a career and you kind of feel like you're isolated or lonely, this is an absolutely incredible place for friendship and for socialising and so much more.
Most definitely. I think at the end of the day, everybody wants a sense of belonging. They want a place where they can go, where they feel welcome, and that they can just be themselves. And really, the sheds are like that for everybody. They're very welcoming, very open to any man who's interested.
Now, you mentioned you study you're a doctorate in psychology, and I'd love to know more about the kind of psychology when it comes to men's sheds.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of research around, having that social support sense of well-being is really important and beneficial in later life. Not only are individuals happier, but they tend to live longer as well. So that's important when we think about a men's shed organization because you can go there and have a sense of purpose and a place and maintain that engagement. And so that's going to be beneficial for your well-being, certainly your psychological well-being, and also protective as well from a longevity standpoint.
And what I noticed about one of the men's sheds that I was in Limerick City was, they had provided so many tools and paint and loads of equipment. So, for those who don't have anything at home, it's a place where you can actually pick up skills as well, which I think is really important at any age.
Most definitely. Yeah. I was talking with an older gentleman who does the bees, and he has bees at his home, and he's teaching other men how to do that. And, there's other men who are very handy there who are, cutting ththings out on the saw. And then there's men who maybe have never done that, who are learning how to do that. So it's a great way to learn new skills as well.
And what I should note as well, that women are welcome to come visit as well, because I know the Limerick ones, they have had like these lovely community days where they invite the community in and they invite men and women in and they have like instruments and sing songs. And I think that's important for people to know as well, that it is a place that, we're all welcome to pop in and say hello, because they love that.
Yeah, most definitely. Sometimes I think people think, oh, that's not for me, or maybe I shouldn't go in, but they love visitors. They're very, very welcoming. So especially the ones in Limerick City would love you to stop by and welcome you, and sometimes even have their doors open for their music nights and things like that. So they would love people to stop in and say hello. Yeah.
And is it then maybe how are rural Ireland, do you think, accepting for men's sheds? Because as I said, cities have quite a lot, and I guess it's walking distance from your home, and whereas I guess in rural Ireland there could be a bit more of an issue with transport.
Right, that is true. I mean, I know some of the men do pick up other men along the way who may not have that, but it is great that they're very much looking out for other men in their community and making sure that they have a place to go as well. So I found the rural sheds to be very welcoming and very open as well.
To the men who are watching and listening, and if they think, what, this is for me, I suit that criteria, how can they get involved?
Sure. So if you're interested, give me an email. My email is melinda.heinz@tus.ie, and we can talk more about the project.
And I'll include the email there as well. And I want to ask about, in America, are men's sheds popular?
There's not that many men's sheds, actually. We have probably fewer than 10 throughout the entire U.S.
Wow.
So they have not taken off in the same way that they have here. I'm sort of curious about that as well. Ireland strikes me as very community-oriented, so I wonder if that has something to do with it as well. But yeah, I'm hoping to kind of learn more about that, and curious if we'll have more in the U.S. at some point, too.
That's really fascinating, because my own mother did a thesis on men's sheds years ago, yeah.
Okay.
And am I right in saying it was Australia that this first began?
That's true. Yep. So it started in Australia and then kind of shifted over to Ireland as well. But you all have more per capita than anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's kind of interesting that they really, really thrived here.
No wonder you picked TUS as your location.
That's right. Yeah. So I had to come. Yeah.
Melinda, I have to ask as well, how you find an Irish life?
It's great. Yeah. So we're living in the Ballina, Killaloe area.
Oh, lovely.
And my husband and then 2 girls are with us as well.
Amazing.
So my oldest is in school, and then our youngest is only 7 months. But we're getting used to the area, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
And I have to, of course, ask the Irish weather.
Oh yes, yeah. So it's warmer here than in Iowa, believe it or not.
Okay.
But it's damper for sure.
Yeah.
So kind of that damp cold has been a little bit of an adjustment, but it's good. I can't complain because we don't have feet of snow to kind of trudge through, so it's not bad. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I have to say, it's great to have you here. And as I mentioned, of course, for anyone that wants to get involved, men's sheds, I think, are such a great community initiative. And I would really encourage loads of men out there to get involved and find their local men's shed as well.
Right, absolutely. It's a great organization, great thing to be included and to stay engaged in later life.
Dr. Melinda Heinz, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you in the Limerick Post Show here from TUS, and I look forward to seeing more of your research.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.